What the? How did you do that? You simply opened it? But that's impossible. All these years it's kept me from escaping, and you just... Come on. We have to look. We have to look and see what's outside. We won't get far, but still we have to see. Come, lead the way. This is so wrong and right at the same time. I know we can't escape, but to just have a glimpse outside. The suppressor will understand. This is so wrong and right at the same time. By the gods, these are the scourges of the suppressor. They want to punish us. so cold. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to go out. After all, I mean, yeah. Yes, the cell is small, but at least it's safe. This is so wrong and right at the same time. I know we can't escape, but to just have a glimpse outside. The suppressor will understand. This is so wrong and right at the same time. I know we can't escape, but just have a glimpse outside. The suppressor will understand. This is so wrong and right at the same time. I know we can't escape, but to just have a glimpse outside. The suppressor will understand. Haven't we been here before? By the gods, everything here looks so similar. It's a damn maze. Oh, really? We should never have left. This will be our doom. This is so wrong and right at the same time. I know we can't escape, but to just have a glimpse outside. The suppressor will understand. Oh no. No. Do you see it? All the cells, they're all empty. And there's blood. Oh no. There were people in there just like us. They didn't know their place either, and now they're dead. They've simply dissolved because they dared to disobey the suppressor. By the gods, this is what will happen to us too. I knew it was a mistake to leave in the first place. I just knew it. This is so wrong and right at the same time. I know we can't escape, but to just have a glimpse outside. The suppressor will understand. Ha! What? Leave me alone! The suppressor's punishment. It will be horrible. No, you haven't. Because you're blind. The suppressor is here, in every single stone, in every bone, in every drop of blood. And yet you are too blind to see it. But I should have known. I mean, what can you expect from someone who has killed his entire family? I followed you because for a brief moment, you made me want to believe, and now you've dragged me into the abyss along with you. No, there isn't. Just look at us. Look at what we are. We are the damned because we are trapped too deeply in the past. And that's why we do not deserve freedom. Of course I'm a part of you, and you are a part of me. Isn't that obvious? But I should have known you wouldn't understand. You're too weak. You always were. The suppressor's punishment. It will be horrible. Well, well. So you figured it out? Yes. I am what keeps you in this place. But was it blind rage that made you act, or have you truly understood who I am? Have you understood what drives you and determines your actions? The salt corrodes your skin, and the water filling your lungs is cold. But you still haven't found it, child, have you?
Oh, hey. Good to see you awake. How are you feeling? Good question. The room was empty when I came here. Actually, that's quite weird now that you mention it. The entire temple seemed kind of deserted. Probably a ceremony or something like that. Now, tell me, how are you holding up? I heard this trial's quite the feat. Apparently some of the novices never wake up again. In the temple. The curarium, to be precise. You were brought here when you were traveling with that Ixon guy. I think the others are already awake, but I didn't want to leave you here, so I thought I'd just stay. I mean, hey, you are a keeper of the first sigil now, aren't you? I believe congratulations are in order. Everyone knows about Ixon, and the fact that you're asking this shows how little you actually understood. You're pathetic, you know that? Simply pathetic.
I said you are pathetic. At first we believed it would be more exciting this time. But now that we've seen the new prophet, our hopes are gone. You're a joke.
A nobody who let his only friend kick the bucket.
As if you'd ever accept that. You humans are always so damn persistent, aren't you? Why? Why can't you just let go?
Because in the end, you are powerless, just as all those before you. And you, Prophet, you are the biggest joke of all.
You are nothing but an urchin.
A weakling.
And a murderer.
And that is why you will burn. All of you. The cleansing will happen, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. What have you done to us? You are so naive. The world is an interplay of cause and effect, and the only logical consequence of your existence is annihilation. That's the way it was, and that's the way it's going to be. But enough of the banter, urchin. We wanted to meet you, and so we did, even though the result is rather sobering. Now wake up! Keep on stumbling through the mist.
Thank Malphus. I was starting to think I was the only one. How are you? You look exhausted. Then you have a remarkable constitution. Usually the after effects of the potion last for days. But it's good to see the Grandmaster was right after all. I woke up just a few hours earlier, and he was here in the meantime. He didn't doubt for a single second that you would make it. But I suppose mutual congratulations are in order. We made it. We passed the trial. Almost, yes. All that is left to do is to take the oath, and then Grandmaster Aranthiel will exalt us to the keepers of the first sigil. Speaking of whom, he also told me some things while you were asleep. About the Pyreans, about these dreams, and of course, about this cycle. This is so bizarre, really. At first we're told out of nowhere that the gods have died, and now humanity is on the brink of extinction. This is a lot to take in. Hard to say. I never had those dreams the Grandmaster talked about, even though I'm magically gifted. But then again, I always had the feeling that the Red Madness was more than an ordinary disease. Well, I suppose all of this explains a lot. At least now I can understand why the Grandmaster was willing to break all the traditions of the Order just to get you exalted to be a keeper. According to him, most of our battle against the cycle will stand or fall with you. Yes, I believe that. It's a great responsibility you've been given, and as impressive as your skills are, I would not want to change places with you. Well, as I said, we both have to take the Holy Oath. You should talk to the Grandmaster as soon as you're ready. He's waiting for you in the Emporium. Right, Dunwar. The apothecary examined him about an hour ago, and it doesn't look good. It's likely that he'll never wake up again. He was impulsive, yes. But to some extent, I can understand why he was the way he was. You know, Dunwar was one of those people who tried to gild their insecurity with boastful behavior. The reality is that he was the last of his bloodline, and his faith in the path and his destiny as a keeper were all that he had left. And who knows? Maybe he would have been a great help to the Order with the right guidance. But I guess Master Bartar's revelation was just too much for him. It's hard to be told that everything you've lived for was a lie. Yes, all of the Dalmordans fell victim to the Great Flesh Maggot Plague of 8215. Actually, it was almost sad to see him running around and boasting about his nobility, though everyone knew that without the help of the Order, he would have probably ended up living in a shack in the Undercity. If you can call that living. Well, maybe I just don't show it as much. But yes, in a way, you're probably right. I suppose that's mainly due to the fact that to me, as opposed to Dunwar, the Order always stood for an idea. And an idea doesn't die with the one who first thought of it. Funny that the Grandmaster said nearly the same thing during the Exaltation. Dunwar would have considered it blasphemy. That's true. A lot of crimes were committed during the Lightborn's reign, and I don't want to minimize that. But I also think a lot of those crimes were unavoidable, so to speak. Imagine you're the king of a small island, and one day your realm gets attacked by a fleet of Scarab Reavers. The invasion catches you completely off guard, and within a few hours, the Reavers have advanced to the farmland, just a few feet from your city's main gates. And before you know it, you have to make a decision. Will you use the time that remains to entrench your army within the city's walls to have a better chance of surviving a siege? Or do you send them into the field to fight the Reavers there, knowing that there is only a slight chance to save the farmers, but a big risk that you will lose both the city and the farmers? Correct. What I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter what you do. There will be people who will despise you for your decision. If your attempt to rescue the farmers fails, you will be accused of having acted blindly and idealistically. And if you just stay in the city, they will say you didn't even try. Of course, there's a small chance the foray might work, but should decisions like that really be made as if they were a game of dice? As I said, I don't mean to absolve the Lightborn of their crimes. But I'd wager my left hand that they had a lot of similar decisions to make. I knew the question would come eventually. I suppose the answer depends on whether you're in the mood for some gloomy talk. Sooner or later, you'll hear it from someone else anyway, so why not from me first? As you wish. Where should I start? Maybe with the fact that I don't remember anything that happened before my 6th winter. I don't know where I was born, and I never got to know my parents. I wish I knew. What I do know, though, is that the first memory I have is of waking up in the middle of some village. It was dark, and I felt dizzy and, I don't know, empty? That's probably the best way to describe it. I eventually found the strength to get up and look around, and, well, that's when I realized what was actually going on around me. The entire village. It had been destroyed. There were corpses everywhere. Men, women, children, and the houses had been crushed as if some mad god had rampaged through the streets there. And it had all just happened hours before because the destruction was still fresh. Whatever it was, I didn't have much time to think about it. As soon as I got up, I saw 3 riders coming through the smoke. One of them got off his horse, ran towards one of the corpses, and started screaming something in my direction. Then I felt a blow on the back of my head, and I lost consciousness. By the name of the sun, it's strange to talk about it like this. It's been so long, but the memory feels as if it had happened yesterday. Well, it turned out the riders were hunters who had come from that village. They must have observed the whatever it was from the distance and ridden back to the village. At least I think that's how it went. I guess I'll never find out. The reason they thought I was somehow involved is that the village priest found me a couple of days before it happened near a shrine in the wilderness. Apparently, I was wearing torn clothing, and no matter what the apothecary tried, he couldn't wake me up from my comatose sleep. And it seems that made the riders think I was some kind of witch child, or unholy beast, whichever you prefer. For you, maybe. For them, as simple people, it was probably the best explanation they had. And think about it, it's not that far off. A motherless child who neither talks nor breathes steadily is found abandoned on the roadside and has a strange mark on her face. They leave to go hunting, and when they come back, they find their village in ruins with that foundling child being the only survivor. You have to admit, it's not that much of a stretch, even if those men hadn't been superstitious farmers. Probably. Truth be told, I try not to think about it too much. And actually, it doesn't matter, because I somehow managed to get away before they could do anything. I even made it to Ark all by myself, which didn't turn out to be much of an improvement in the end because I was pathless. Yes. Thinking about it now, I actually wonder how I made it through my time down there. But maybe that's one of the advantages of being a child. You don't think. You just act. Still, the winters down there were cruel, and if Master Tyrus hadn't found and taken care of me, I probably wouldn't have made it through my 2nd year. Yes, otherwise I would not be here. He saw me, and he knew what he had to do, is how he put it. Of course, the Order wasn't too happy about a pathless child in the Scuola, just as some aren't happy about you being here. But Tyrus was a highly regarded man, and that's why they let it slide. That's right, we do, but we are both still pathless, and that disqualifies us according to the holy verses. I guess now you understand why I was never as connected to Malphas's teaching as Dunwar was. To some of the Keepers, I am still an outcast, and no matter what I do, I always will be. It does, yes. But then, he had lost both his wife and daughter 5 years before he found me. So maybe I was some kind of substitute. I don't know. But in the end, it doesn't matter. I owe him everything. He was a good man, and that's all that matters. Yes, and now I'm here. Well, here we've reached the end of my impressive tale. I hope you liked it. Gone. He was very old, and there was nothing anyone could do about it. But I'd prefer not to talk about it, if you don't mind. No, I guess I'm not. He does, yes, and he's not alone in his opinion. One of those hunters recognized me in the market my first year as a novice, and you can imagine that it was easy pickings for those who were already against my presence in the Order. From then on, they added names to the derogatory stares. Demon Child, Witch, whatever they could come up with. Yes, maybe. You know what's funny? To some extent, I'm glad to be who I am. That way, people just leave me alone, and that gives me more time to focus on what's important, on my goals. Several, but I'd say that's enough of the gloomy stories, don't you think? There will be plenty of time for chatter in the future. Maybe. You should. It's already late, but if you want, I can show you the most important places in the temple before you go to the Emporium. What do you think? Good. Then get your gear from the chest by your bed and we'll go. Now then, let's go. Yes? All right, this is the sanctum. It's a place of silence and prayer, and also where we'll be exalted later.
Pathlessness, wherever you look.
This is holy ground,
Where is this
Outlander.
supposed to lead?
You do not belong here.
Walk blessed. Oh,
You're an Outlander, aren't you? From Araziel. Your skin, it looks, different.
Okay, I think you've seen this place before. We call this part of the temple the Chronicum, and in here is gathered the knowledge of the Order, written down in books and parchments. Plus, all of the experiments and research on artifacts and magic is done here, so it's a place you'll probably see often in the near future. Ah, and just below the Chronicum is the temple smithy. You should go there if you need equipment. Over there, that's the Scuola and the quarters, where both the keepers and the novices live. There's also a training room where everything from swordplay to marksmanship can be trained and taught. You will find some skilled teachers there. Well, I think that's about it. You've already been to the Emporium, and I assume to the Eye of the Gods as well. I suggest you speak to the Grandmaster as soon as you're ready to take the oath. Prepare myself, probably. Now walk blessed. I will see you soon.
Walk blessed.
And you actually believe this could work? It sounds absurd.
I don't believe I know. The mercenary, he might not be the shining knight of Castle Starsound, but he's better than most of your men. I want him, and you will need to convince your Truchessa of it.
Is that so? Very well, I will convince her. You will hear from me.
I hope so.
Oh,
Well, look at that. You've actually survived the pointless test. Let's hope those ignorant fools will treat you with more respect than us heretics, although I truly doubt it. Quite some questions you're asking there, lad. But why not? You're not one of those god lambs, so where's the harm in telling you? Yes, the Lightborn are dead, killed by the Shadowborn. But truth be told, too little has changed for us to feel any different. If that makes sense. Yes, but that's because the Lightborn have left a power vacuum, and everybody feels obliged to fill it himself. Plus, there's the cycle, which seems to drive people into violence. I'm talking about grand-scale changes, such as in the way we think. To know that gods can be killed, that there is no other power in life than life itself. That has to do something with people, doesn't it? Well, bullshit. Just look around Enderal. The most religious country of all. And yet, people act as if nothing has happened. All it needs is some fancily dressed up clergyman to tell them that the rumors are false. And they swallow it like mulled wine and go on about their business. It's depressing. Well, I've been thinking about that. I suppose it's because the Lightborn's reign has always lived from people believing them to be divine, rather than actually being it. If that makes sense. They're more like symbols. Regret? Far from it. The gods were tyrants, and they robbed mankind of their right to self-determination. Regardless of the consequences, what we enabled the Shadow God to do was the right thing to do. Ha! We'd be a pretty pathetic order if that was all of us, wouldn't we? No, only a handful of us came here. Let's just say the others weren't as thrilled by the idea of joining forces with our arch-enemies. Especially if it's just to fight some phantasm, as they put it. Not all of them. No. Most did, but they didn't connect the dots. Or, which is more likely, didn't want to. And yes, I am frustrated to see that much ignorance in our own ranks. But those who matter are here. That's important.
Prophet, good to see you. How do you feel? Prophet, good to see you. How do you feel? Good. I never doubted you would pass the test. In any case, all that is left to do now is to recite the oath. Then we will finally deal with the more urgent matters. None of it, you'll see. The ceremony needs a little preparation, 1 day at least. Come back then. Even if it hurts to lose more time, the cleansing approaches, I can feel it. Just this night I had another of the dreams. People I knew, including you. But these people weren't themselves. There was something else, and it spoke through them. They mocked us and said our struggle against the cycle was pointless. It was peculiar. I believe that these beings are connected to the cycle. They must be the ones who cause it. You did? That is interesting. It must be related to our roles as emissaries. Maybe there is a connection between us. None. Maybe they are demons or magical entities of some kind, but they are different from everything I know. In any case, if they are indeed responsible for the cycle, they are our enemies. That's what matters for now. Come back tomorrow for the ceremony.
Phew! There you are. Here, a letter for you. What? Oh, that's very generous of you. Thank you. Safe travels, and may his light guide you.
My sir?
Monsieur? Yes? Yes?
Watch yourself. The streets aren't safe this time of the day.
Yes?
Ah, there you are. Glad you made it. So, how was it? I heard quite some stories about this trial, and was never sure what to make of it. Yeah, I changed my mind. Come, let's go upstairs. It'll be worth it. There we are. Wait a second. So, wine or pipe? Chilean Sweetwater tobacco. 100 times better than what they smoke here. Consider it a congratulatory gift for passing the trial. Nothing better than a good pipe and a nice sight to go along with it. It's always sad to see how few people can truly appreciate these things. Anyway, tell me, my friend, what is it that drives you? I've been asking that myself since we met. I mean, it's not like anyone's forcing you to play errand boy for Arenthiel, is there? And with your abilities, you could make a fortune as a mercenary. Not to mention the danger you put yourself in. Securing the excavation site, passing the trial, they certainly haven't been easy on you so far. Huh, I figure. In any case, it's interesting to see how you've gotten from being a magically gifted refugee to the center of all this. Kind of reminds me of a woman I used to travel with, Alicia. No matter where she went, she always ended up in the eye of the storm. We got hired for the same job. Usually I work better on my own, but this partnership was refreshing in every aspect. It felt good to know someone's got your back for a change, especially with the kind of work I do. Which is why we decided to stick together after that first job. And it went great, at least initially. She just cared too much, you know? Yeah, she was a mercenary, but she only ever picked the jobs where she thought she could help people, or at least do no damage. As you can imagine, that doesn't always work out in my profession, and whenever it didn't, she really took it to heart. It was sad, if you think about it, really. We traveled together, and we had sex, so yes, according to most people's definition of it, we were a couple. That was... let me think. About 3 years. Yeah. We went to Araziel, Kira, Artwend, and one time we even fought a group of petrified on Millet. She fought as ardently as she lived. I don't know how I would have survived that fight without her. Oh, several reasons. First of all, she was primarily a traveling healer, and used the money she got from those jobs to sustain herself. Secondly, Licia wasn't all selflessness. She wanted to help people, yeah, but she also wanted to make experiences, I guess. Live like an eagle, love like a madman, and dream like a god. A bit cheesy, yeah, but that was her credo. Well, we were simply too different. I guess that's what it comes down to. Let's face it, I'm a pathetic white knight, and an even worse world savior. Licia and I, we were just bound to clash. We were lovers, then friends, then lovers again, and so on and so forth. Ultimately, that was just too much for me. Too extreme. Too absorbing. Love as she defined it, yeah. Had it been for her, we would have married after that first night. That's a long story. Not one that puts me in a favorable light. At least if you're like most people. Let's save that for another time. Split up. Yeah, that's one way to put it. But anyway, enough about me. What about you? Has there ever been someone in your life? Or have you always been the lone wolf? Really? That surprises me. I, for one, have had enough drama to last me a lifetime. Sex is fine, but I guess I'm just not naive enough for anything else anymore. Love, love, love. People have such wrong-headed expectations, really. Sometimes I think it would help us all to finally admit that there isn't that much that separates us from the apes. Anyway, why don't you tell me a little more about this trial? I heard you passed it together with that quiet girl, Kalia. What's she like? I've heard some stories about her. That's just life, I think. There comes a point when you've done all you can. My. We've certainly lost track of time, haven't we? I really need to hit the hay for a couple hours now. I'll have to go look for some new work tomorrow. And I've heard about a nobleman who's looking for a sellsword. That is, if Arenthiel or old Bushybeard doesn't have a new job for me by then. Say what you want about them, their pay is beyond generous. I'll see you around, my friend. Huh? Keep your chin up. Huh?
They just sit on their asses and let things settle themselves. Yeah. It's not as if I didn't tell them that already.
Walk blessed. Walk blessed.
My sir?
Monsieur?
Walk blessed, friend. Sure. Where to? Sure. Where to?
just sit on their asses and let things settle themselves. Idiots.
Hungry for arcane secrets? I have books, scrolls, potions, anything for friends of path-abiding magic.
I just don't see the fucking point.
Fresh from the oven. Treat yourself. Potatoes, garlic,
Never change.
Yeah.
Just have to work.
It's not as if I didn't tell them that already.
It's just how it is.
Apples, dates, bananas, the freshest fruits right from the farmer's coast and Doonville.
Monsieur?
Walk blessed. Sure. Where to?
Someone's out there. Prophet's ass.
Someone's out there. prophet's ass. Someone's out there.
Look at that. A lonesome traveler. You shouldn't have come here.
Yes? Well, a bit of everything. Just look for yourself. Walk. Well, a bit of everything. Just look for yourself. Walk blessed. Yes? Well, a bit of everything. Just look for yourself. Walk blessed.
Why is that stuff so expensive?
Well, a bit of everything. Just look for yourself. Walk. Blessed.
If it's clam and fish you seek, then come.
Take a good long peek.
Hungry for arcane secret?
Fruits,
I have
vegetables. Bread fresh from the oven. Treat yourself.
My sir.
Spices, rugs, delicacies, only the best.
How may I be of... Yes? Of course.
Oh, hello there. Walk all your heart could ever desire. Take a look. May his light guide you. All your heart could ever desire. Take a look. May his light guide you. Come back if you find the time.
Looking for steel? I can provide. Everything for the path-abiding soldier. Come again. Everything for the path-abiding soldier. Everything for the path-abiding soldier. Everything for the path-abiding soldier. Come again. Everything for the path-abiding soldier. Everything for the path-abiding soldier. Looking for steel? I can provide. Everything for the path-abiding soldier. Everything for the...
Is it important?
Mm-hmm.
Monsieur?
Some people just don't know their way at the end of the day.
Show me. Now look at that. I have to admit I'm surprised. How would you like to be rewarded? Fine. Anything else? If not, please leave me to my work. Until next time. Maybe.
He no talk to door. He not bad. Talk to others.
Yes, of course you'd say that.
Never walked back on the road from the aged man's abode. Oh, blazes. Sorry. I know.
Emissary. He talk about the jam? The jam not here. The jam other place. Perhaps Dul can remember, but he needs to help his memory. Dul's memory old and full of holes. Like cheese.
Roast pork. Anyone?
Ah, he very generous. And look, memories come back. The Jamel went bathing in house with many waters. Look there. He has what he came here for. Go now. Leave Dul alone.
Wait a moment. You're an outlander, aren't you? Only if you know what to look for. I'm one myself, so I do. Balhazer, pleased to make your acquaintance. Tell me, if you're new in this city, are you perchance also looking for work? Excuse me, what was I saying? I'm looking for a hand. Well, neither do you. But to answer your question, I'm Arizaline, but third generation Arizaline, so it doesn't show that much anymore. Apart from my name and my skin, there's little left of my roots, I'm afraid. Anyway, so what did you say? Interested in some well-paid, honest work? It's simple. I want you to find something for me. You know, I'm a healer, just like my father was, and my grandfather before that. When he came to this country, he did so because he had been hired by an Arca noblewoman, a bright lady who valued science and the arts of healing. In any case, my grandfather spent a large portion of life working for this lady in an old, abandoned fort near the now deserted village of Fogville. Together with a good dozen other apothecary, he planned for my father to succeed him. But before he had the chance to, the mushroom plague occurred. Yes, that one. The spores of those mushrooms have literally sucked all the life from the forest and its surroundings. Plus, they are a threat to everyone who comes close. It does seem likely, doesn't it? Both my father and I have asked my grandfather this question too, but he has always denied it. The plague was a magical phenomenon, a freak of nature, no more, no less. Those were his words. However, I've made some troubling discoveries which have led me to doubt that. I believe the plague might have been fabricated. Well, this is exactly what I want you to find out. Unfortunately, the noblewoman whom my grandfather worked for has long been dead, and she was the last in their bloodline, so I couldn't find any answers there. But the old fortress where they worked still stands. Isn't that obvious? Because I want to understand. You know, we Arzalines believe in the debt of blood. If my grandfather committed a crime, it is my responsibility to atone for it. Plus, I believe that if there was a way to, well, to cure that plague, it is hidden within that fortress. Whatever harm the mushrooms can do, they can also reverse it. My father never cared much about all this, but I'm different. If there's one thing I want to achieve in my life, then it's clarity. Look at me. You'll have the answer. I'm old and far from made for the road to begin with. Furthermore, all those undead who've been roaming the wilderness since that red madness began don't exactly make the idea more inviting. But don't worry. If you succeed, I'll make it worth your while. Reports, scrolls, samples of their work. Anything that could be of relevance. Just look around. Do you have a map? Here, the fortress should be in this area. Best you take Myra to Fogville. In the village harbour, there was a hut where my grandfather lived when he was off duty. Chances are you'll find a key to the fortress there. Good luck, and thank you. If you have found the material, you can find me in the Undercity, near the old waterworks. My laboratory is there.
He has what he came here for. Go now. Leave Dole alone.
Hello.
Malfash's blessings.
I really need that new herbal essence for my hair.
Come back anytime.
In a bed, sorry.
Yes, you should go into the Whisperwood and... see what you can find in the old fortress. I'll wait for you in the Undercity.
Yes? Yes?
It just doesn't work, Magister, no matter how hard I try.
Yes, and there you have the problem. You try.
I'm afraid I do not follow, Master.
Well, there comes a point.
Okay,
You just have to live with
I'll
it.
admit, it was a little cryptic. Tell me, do you remember the lecture Magister Diana gave last moon?
Yes, I think I do. You mean the one she held a few days before that thing with Magister Yarrow happened?
Yes, exactly. Do you also remember how she described the workings of magic? The secret of it, if you will.
Wait. She said the key to magic is that... that... the Black Guardian, I forgot. I am sorry.
She said, the secret of magic is to see possibilities where there were none. Do you understand what she's trying to say with that, Tullius? The only reason we Arcanists can cast magic is because we see the world differently than other people. We don't conjure the fireball, the scorching air, the smoke. All of these are just some of the millions of shapes that here and now can take on. All you need to do is see the reality you need and transfer a part of it to ours. And this is what I mean by your problem is that you try. Everything you need to cast the spell was always here. It still is, and will always be. You only need to be the one who brings it into our reality. The scrolls, the hand signs, those are just a means to help you with that. Now look.
I will think about it.
You should. Now forgive me.
Do you see it? The fountain, the water particles, the sudden acceleration in that one particular moment. They were always here. I was only the one who brought them together, in this reality, and in this very moment.
I think I understand.
Life is what you make.
If this were the case, you would be a more gifted mage than the Grand Master Oranthiel was in his Novacate, but you will understand with enough work and tenacity. Now come on, let's go back to the temple. You've done well today.
Ah, there you are. Up
Have you heard the news about the Magister? Word has it that he murdered 30 novices, then killed himself up in the temple.
Yes?
Malphits
Yes?
must come of this world.
So many strange faces. Well, isn't it nice? Yes? What are you doing?
Hmm? What is it? It's complicated. Have you ever heard of the Brotherhood of Kor? I see. Then you haven't been in this city for long. The Brotherhood of Kor were pathless ones. Heretics, as the Order would call them. They demented the divinity of the Lightborn and instead prayed to some barbaric deity called Kor. Initially, they were ridiculed. But thanks to their leader and his talent to poison lost souls with his ideology, more and more Ark people, especially Sublimes, converted to his cult. And, well, among them was also my son, Rukas. Oh, I don't know where I failed as a mother, I really don't. 4 times a week I took him to the chapel to pray when he was a boy, and I always kept him away from dangerous influences. Girls, boys, you know what I mean. But apparently that wasn't enough. He was one of the first to convert and take those ridiculous vows, even though he wasn't even 20 winters old back then. I suppose there's only so much you can do as a parent. Yes, because the Order, Malthus be praised, banished them from the city. The Corps didn't bother too much, but apparently one of their seers has had some kind of vision only shortly before that happened. She saw an island in the Red Sea near Duneville. So this is where they went. They built a small settlement there about 5 winters ago, and Rukas went with them. No, nothing. But even so, I wanted to know he was all right, so I paid a myriad warden to, once each moon, fly over the island to see if everything is in order, so to speak. And, well, this is essentially what's troubling me. For 3 weeks, the island has been deserted. No sign of life anywhere. Thank you. That means a lot to me. If you could find Rukas, I would be happy to reward your efforts. You see, I just want to know if he's all right. Pathlessness aside, he is still my son. Anyway, best you talk to the myriad warden in the South Quarter. He can take you somewhere close to the island. I will be in my shop.
Monsieur?
An Orbulus.